Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Jeremy Pettis and this is my good friend
Steve Edelman.
And welcome to our surprise food challenge. And so let me explain what that is. So if you've been following us at TCOYD, you know that we've done these challenges before. How to eat 3 donuts and stay in range, how to eat pizza, stay in range, exercise, alcohol. And we've done these things for a couple reasons. We want to show people that with these difficult experiences, eating 3 donuts, eating all this pizza, that you can still, if you're equipped with the right tools and right knowledge, stay in a reasonable, blood sugar range. And we're not advocating that everybody go out and eat 3 donuts all the time. But again, it's just to show that nothing is completely unsurmountable with diabetes. You can do this.
You can live a normal life. And, diabetes is not eating cardboard at the same time, the same amount, every single day with no changes. So we want to make sure that people can live with diabetes and still enjoy their life.
Yeah. So as the reigning champ of all these challenges, I decided to give Steve a better chance this time and come up with something that maybe he'd have a little bit of an advantage. So for this challenge, we have no idea what we're going to be eating. Steve is going to be buying a meal for me and I'll be doing the same for him. We're going to have a big reveal. And then, talk about our strategies on, how we would conquer this meal that we're just presented with. So a couple rules that we had about, what meals we could, pick.
What's important is Jeremy commonly cheats and he changes the rules.
Yeah.
He changes the rules when we start. So pay attention to the rules because we have to stick to those rules.
Yeah, this is all videoed, all the previous ones. So you can go on and see that I did not cheat and Steve just lost. But anyways, so the rules were that you have to buy kind of a normal meal. And what do we mean by that? We both actually ended up picking chain restaurants. So this is something you can get just easily off the meal. There's no crazy substitutions or off the menu, no crazy substitutions. And we couldn't add dessert. We thought that was too easy of a low-hanging fruit. You eat this whole meal and then you have to eat a hot fudge sundae. That seemed not what you would typically eat. So that was kind of one caveat. And the other one is that you couldn't add a beverage, a 40-ounce Coke. Again, just wouldn't really be fair. So it's just really about eating this meal. And then, you can have water or Diet Coke or whatever you want to kind of wash it down with. So that was kind of the rules around the meals. And talk about the rules around blood sugars, if you want.
Yeah, well, as we did with the donut challenge and the pizza challenge, we want to keep our numbers between 70 and 180. That's defined as time in range. You guys should know that by now, all our other programs. And basically the rule is the person that goes out of range first loses.
Right.
And we're going to talk about our strategy as we go through. And the other thing is we get to use any insulin we want, including Afrezza. And we can use exercise. We did that in the donut challenge to prevent us from getting to that 180 point. And I don't know what you can do to get low, but if you have to drink orange juice or apple juice, does that mean you're out?
Yeah, yeah, you can't eat anything additional.
See,
it's good to go
he's
over
not
this.
sure of the rules.
Yeah, you can't treat a low and stay in range. So you have to eat the meal, stay in range. If you go out of range, you lose, but we're going to follow it up to 3 hours. So if both of us stay in range for 3 hours, then, it's a tie. We both win. Hooray. All right, so what's going to happen next is Steve's going to get up and go in his office so that I can show you guys what I have planned to order for him, which is incredible. And then after we do that, we'll flip. We'll all go away. You can come back and kind of commune with the audience. So you guys at home will know what we're eating, but we won't. So I just got to tell you, Steve, with what I'm going to get you, there's no way you're going to beat me.
Well, we'll just have to see about that.
All right, you guys, here I am in my computer about to order for Steve, and I am getting him Chinese food, specifically Panda Express. Now, why Chinese food? Anybody with diabetes will tell you it is just awful in terms of your blood sugars. You got carbs from the rice and chow mein or whatever, but then all the fat and the protein, so your blood sugars, will just kind of constantly just go up and up and up, and it becomes impossible to keep your blood sugars down. So this is going to be a really tough meal for him. So what did I get? Well, I went online and researched this. By the way, it took me a while to kind of find all this information. It's not super easy just to pull this up. So I got him a plate, which I get to pick 2 entrees and then chow mein and rice. And so this is what I got. So first entree is orange chicken, carbs, 51 carbs, 23 grams of fat, and 490 calories in just that. Then Beijing beef. Why? Because it was the most calorically dense second option. 46 grams of carbs, 26 grams of fat, 470 calories. And then I was really a toss-up between should I get chow mein or rice, so I went half and half. half chow mein, half fried rice. Chow mein is 40 grams of carbs, 10 grams of fat for a half order, 255 calories, that's for a half order. Fried rice, 42 grams of carbs, 8 grams of fat, 260 calories. So in total carb count, 179 grams of carbs, 67 grams of fat, and about 1,500 calories. Now, I gotta say, I have eaten this before. So I'm kind of shocked looking at this, that there's that many carbs and that many calories in this, but it is pretty delicious. So we'll see how he handles this. I'm gonna hit, submit my order right now, and we're gonna go get this meal, have it here, and I just can't wait to see the look on Steve's face when we reveal this. So that's it for me.
The item I picked for Jeremy to eat, I know he loves. In fact, he always talks about it because he loves it, but it also wrecks his blood sugars. Now, I'm going to tell you what's in it. I've never ordered one because I'm not ignorant enough to do that. Okay, it is a acai bowl from Jamba Juice, just the regular one. Okay, it's got strawberries, acai blend, blueberries, soy milk, bananas, granola, honey, shredded coconut. I purposely did not order any extras. Now, he loves peanut butter. Could have got him an extra scoop and it said that adds on 100 calories, but I didn't do that because protein will slow down the absorption of rapid acting carbs. Now, the one thing that he does have an advantage, I'm just guessing, it's only 520 calories, only 60 calories from fat. So it is rapid acting carbs, and you're not going to believe this, 103 grams of carbohydrate. So that's like eating 2 bagels. But a bagel may not even be absorbed nearly as fast as an acai bowl. So basically, I got the order right up here, and I'm going to push this button, and it will be started to be made right away.
All right, so we are back, and we're very excited because the food's been delivered. The TCOYD team made us go into our offices, got them set up in here so we couldn't see what lies beneath these things. So in a couple seconds, we're going to reveal this, and we have no idea what's under here.
We have no clue what the other person picked.
Yeah. So after we reveal it, have a moment to react, and then talk about how we're going to attack whatever it is. So are you ready, Steve?
Yeah.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, man. I got an acai bowl.
That's not fair.
That is a normal serving of Chinese food. And look at this. This is a cute little bowl. Like, this is just going to be delicious. So, but it's going to be really, really hard. Mine is like pure carbs. You've got a whole operation over there to deal with.
I got a lot of fat in there. Mm-hmm. Is that orange chicken?
That's orange chicken, Beijing beef, chow mein, fried. That actually looks really good.
So this is like for a family of 4?
Nope.
You should have got an individual
plate meal. Look at this. I can't wait to eat this.
Oh, man. You know what? I've never ordered an acai bowl, and that's so small.
Well, it's still going to be hard.
Okay.
This is more pure carbs, so we'll talk about how to... I need a minute. We'll process, and we'll talk about how we're going to deal with this. Okay? We'll be right back. All right, so we've had a moment to process, and actually what that was is more Steve complaining about how big his is and how small mine was. But so I've got an acai bowl, if you guys can't see it. Acai is this like berry fruit stuff that is delicious. I don't really know what it is, but it's fruit. It's got granola on here, and it's got strawberries, bananas, blueberries, and some coconut flakes. So this is like a pure carb meal. And we talked about if we wanted to know how many carbohydrates and carbs, and we decided not to, because for most of us, when we eat things, like we, don't have a menu that says exactly how many carbs it is. So how would I approach this? How many carbs would I estimate? And yeah, I would say probably about 100 grams of carbs in here. And I don't have to worry about the fat and protein so much for Steve. So what I'm going to do is just a big fat bolus for about 100 grams of carbs. Wait 20 minutes or so to kind of eat it. Which is going to be hard because I'm starving. So let that insulin kick in and then eat it. And if I start kind of going up, I might take some Afrezza or do some stairs or something like that. But the key here is the pre-bolus. If I just, bolused right now and ate it immediately, I'd go high. But giving 20 or so minutes before, I start eating this is going to be my key. So honestly, I want to eat some of yours. Like, it looks really, really good.
I mean, this is orange chicken. Mm-hmm. Regular rice, not cauliflower rice.
It's fried chicken. Fried rice, but yeah.
Yeah. I got it. It was rice. And then there's noodles. And I can tell you the sauce on orange chicken is, you might as well drink a thing of syrup for your pancakes. So, I mean, for me, I need to not only give a pre-bolus, but then I got to really keep a close eye and give more boluses as this stuff gets absorbed in my stomach. So, I mean, to be honest, Jeremy, I'm not sure I can finish this whole thing. I'm going to eat as much as I can. And I know this has got to be well over 1,000 calories, like well over. I mean,
how many carbs would you say?
I would say 200 grams of carbs.
Yeah.
If I ate the whole thing.
So are you going to pre-bolus for how many grams of carbs do you think?
100.
Okay, and then see how it goes.
That's 10 units.
And we talked about this with the pizza, but the fat and the protein, it can just delay absorption. You know, so like he might actually do okay in the beginning, but then his blood sugars might creep up an hour, 2 hours later. And it makes you more insulin resistant. So anytime you have as much fat and protein here, like Chinese food, pizza, you're just going to need to take more insulin. So you'd have to take the amount of carbs you're going to eat and then sometimes add another 50% or so. It's a real crapshoot.
I tell my patients, Chinese food will kill you. Even my Asian patients, they laugh
well,
like
we have
crazy.
the paramedics standing by just in case. But anyways, so all right,
Okay.
so we're going to bolus and then come back to start eating, I guess.
Okay.
Okay, we'll see you in a second. All right, real quick, I'm 87, arrow across. Try to be a little aggressive coming into this, get my blood sugars low. I just put in actually 80 grams of carbs to start, like a little conservative because I'm going to probably do some more touches. And getting my bolus, and I'm going to start eating soon.
Yeah. I'm at 75 diagonal down because I gave a little bolus ahead of time and our Uber driver got a flat. And so I'm going to start eating right away.
Okay. Take your bite. What are you going to eat first?
I'm going for the sweetest thing I can, but that's everything.
I'll take a first bite too, just so we're at the same time. I just got this giant spoon that, I don't think I'm going to use that, but so healthy, so fresh.
So healthy, so fresh.
All right, we'll be back with an update.
Okay.
Just a reminder, the 3-hour timer starts now with our first bite. All right, we're back. It's been almost exactly 20 minutes since we started eating. Admittedly, I finished earlier because I have a smaller portion than Steve has been working his way through his Panda. I pre-bolused about 20 minutes or so before I ate. I have about 8 units on board. My blood sugar started around 80, and now it's kind of rocketing up, 124 going up, diagonal arrow. Goes to show you again that I probably should have pre-bolused more because the carbs just hit your system and turn to sugar faster than the insulin acts. So if this trend continues at the next reading, I'm probably going to take some Afrezza, which is an inhaled, very rapid-acting insulin to just kind of turn the tide to keep me in range. Because you kind of did me dirty in a good way with these carbs. I mean, it's working in terms of trying to get me to go out of range, but I'm going to try to fight it with the Afrezza. So how are you doing, Steve?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I really wanted to start off as low as I could. And I didn't realize that, first of all, this would be so big in carbs. I was thinking that he was going to order me a high caloric sandwich. And this is a lot of carbs. Mm-hmm. And then I didn't realize the Jamba Juice acai bowl is so small. That's like an appetizer.
We're talking about you right now,
Okay,
Steve.
all right.
Okay.
So I gave myself 2.5 units when I was about 134, and there was a delay in the delivery, and I bolused 10 units.
2.5 units because of delay in delivery of the food. So you
Yes.
pre-bolus to get you down into range. Okay, so
Yeah, so I started off with 75 diagonal down. And I would have been a little bit better if the food had gotten here on time. And now I'm 70 straight across.
just
and
skimmed the bottom of the barrel. I mean, just
yeah, skimmed. And I'll tell you what, I ate a lot of this. I feel like I'm pregnant. I really do. And I ate most of the rice and the noodles. I ate that first. And I ate a lot of the protein to hopefully slow down the absorption of carbs. But, the orange sauce on the orange chicken, that's like, as I said before, it's sweet.
So how many units do you have now?
I added in 100 grams of carbs. I am 1 unit for every 10 grams.
Okay.
And I planned on just giving 10 units, which I did.
Okay, and we'll see how you do. And I helped him out. I had a couple pieces of Beijing beef. It was really good.
Yeah, because his meal is so small.
I just got to give you a chance. So, actually in 123, I kind of leveled out right now. Update. So we'll just see how that goes.
Yeah, you know what? I really, next time, you know what? I'm going to pick acai bowl. That's a bowl.
Here we go again. Are we complaining
not like
about...
a little,
All right.
like a little thing that holds peanuts for appetizers.
All right. Well, anyways, we'll be back and we'll hear more about Steve complaining about the size of my bowl.
Okay.
See ya. Okay, we're back now, and my update, oh my gosh, I was 147 going up. Now it just turned to 154 going up. So this is, where Steve's really hitting me with these like pure carbs. My blood sugar's off to the races. So I am going to take some Afrezza, and I'm going to take an 8-unit cartridge. We talk a lot about the conversion. That 8 units of Afrezza is more like 4 units of rapid-acting insulin. But the main deal about it is that it gets absorbed so quickly, so it's going to help me turn this corner, because if I didn't take something now, I would definitely go above 180 and I would lose. So just going to get this out here, put this in here, inhale it, and you can talk about your update.
Okay. Well, right before we sat here, I was like 85 straight across. Now I'm 94 diagonal up. And so I have to make a decision. Do I want to take some Afrezza? Or do I want to add more sub-Q? Because remember, I just took 10 units, 20 minutes ago? So that's, it hasn't even started to kick in. That's the problem with sub-Q insulin. So I think what I'm going to do is just be conservative and give myself 3.5 unit correction dose.
So that's interesting. You're calling it a correction dose, but it's really not a correction. I mean, your blood sugar is 94. And this is where it's really helpful for people to realize that you have to be very proactive. That most people would say 94. Why don't you just hang out and wait? I probably would just wait and see what would go up.
Did you see what I ate?
Yeah, you ate a lot.
I mean, 1,500 calories, 179 grams of carbs.
Yeah, I gave him the information off camera, and he about passed out. What I told him was 179 grams of carbs.
I really was shocked, because I thought he was going to order this sub sandwich for me that's quite heavy in calories, and I was expecting like a sub sandwich, and I didn't even think of Chinese food, and I love Chinese food. It's delicious.
And I think, again, it's just my struggle is going to be in this first hour or so, just dealing with the carbs. His struggle is going to be hour 2, 3, when everything just starts kind of kicking in. So anyways, that's our interventions right now. Some Afrezza, a couple more units. And so far, we're all still in the game here. So we'll come back with an update. Okay, we're back.
We are back.
With an hour in now from our meal. Last time we checked in, I was 154 going up. I took 8 units of Afrezza, and I definitely did kind of turn the corner. So I maxed out at 166 just 5 or so minutes ago, and now I'm 159, straight arrow across. So I think, knock on wood, I've survived the brunt of the attack from the acai bowl now that we're an hour into it. And hopefully now I'll continue to kind of just cruise into a good range and stay there. We'll see. So that's my update. I'm happy with my Afrezza intervention. By the way, I had 8 units of subcutaneous insulin, that I took. Another 8 units of Afrezza, which is 4 units or so of subcutaneous. So a total of 12 units. Pretty good slug to just combat that full, just carb-heavy meal.
Well, the Afrezza not only is, theoretically half as strong, 4 units, but it just gets in your system quickly.
So quickly. And that rapid turnaround is it was pretty impressive. If I just took a regular bolus, I probably still would have been going up and getting worried.
The other thing was interesting. Right before we turned on the camera, you were ready to give yourself a little bit more Afrezza. Yeah. And that's why I think, and then between 2 minutes ago and now, the arrow flattened out. Mm-hmm. So I think it's really important to, I've heard people say, and I recommend it too, that wait for 3 cycles of your CGM before you make a rash decision, because you want to make sure it's flat. Mm-hmm. So you did.
Tell us what's going on with you.
Well, if you remember, I was 113 diagonal up, and even though I wasn't that high, I still give myself 3.5 units, knowing because I ate half of Panda Express. And
the restaurant. Yeah, you ate the whole restaurant. Now, what are you?
They didn't think I ate a Panda Bear, okay? Don't worry about it. 133 diagonal up. So at this point, I have 13.5 units. I took 10 in the beginning, another 3.5, relatively short period of time. And I also had taken a couple, 2.5 units before we started, which got me down to skimming 70. So it's amazing I didn't just drop barely below and you claimed to be a winner.
Yeah,
So
that's weird.
So that was so lucky of me. And now, you know, I think it goes to show.
Well, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna sit and wait.
Okay.
I'm gonna hold.
Okay.
And I just think it's important, this whole pre-bolusing thing. Starting off a meal at a really good blood sugar really helps.
Oh, because yeah, you had a lot of room, you know, from 70 to 180. So
Yeah.
you've got all those points to give.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how you do. So right now we're just both holding. I think honestly, like the worst of mine is behind me, and the worst of yours is still yet to come. So we'll see. All right.
Very optimistic guy.
All right, we are
Back.
Okay, so we're an hour and a half in now, and my update is that, you know, again, I took the Afrezza, peaked at kind of 160, and I've sloped down, and I'm now 95, technically diagonal down, but I'm kind of coming in for a landing.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Get out the apple juice.
No way. There's no way I'm going to go below 70. So I think I'm cruising now. I survived that initial hit, only went up to 160. I was telling Steve I could actually have used more acai, like a bigger bowl, to fill me up a little bit and maybe challenge me a little bit more. But as it is, I'm feeling pretty good about where I'm at. How about you?
Yeah, well, I'm doing really well too. I am 106 straight across. Now remember, before I was like 133 diagonal up, decided not to do anything. Because I literally took almost 14 units of insulin and 10 units really only 90 minutes ago. So this stuff is still working pretty strong. And so far my timing's working. And I know Jeremy thinks I'm going to creep up later, but we'll have to see.
And the other thing is, like, you know, as we've been filming this, we've been doing other stuff, you know, so it's not like we've just been completely hovering over our blood sugars. And I'm mentioning that because it hasn't been like a ton of work. I mean, we've been doing work, we've been checking emails, things like that, just checking in with our blood sugars every once in a while. And I say that because, you know, these are things that you guys can all do at home. Yeah, I had to do 1 dose of Afrezza, not that big of a deal to bring me back into range. You had to give yourself a little bit of touch-up of insulin. But to be honest, I'm actually impressed that we've been able to handle a super carb bomb like acai bowls. And like, my hat's off to you, Steve, really, with that meal that I gave you. You know, 180 like carbs and 1,500 calories, and you're right now 103. So
I'm impressed with myself, actually.
Yeah. So we'll see if we're able to continue. Honestly, this is the best I think we've ever done in a challenge. Usually things go a little bit haywire. We'll see if we can continue this. But good job so far.
Yeah, I think we're learning finally how to control our diabetes after 100 combined years. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll be back with our next check-in. Thanks.
See ya.
All right, final update. We're at the 3-hour mark. The biggest update we have, it's a big one, is that Steve is wearing a different shirt. And he was actually wearing a different shirt in the last video. We forgot to address it. So what happened with your shirt?
Well, we've been doing other filming here. Life goes on in between large meals, at least for me.
Yeah.
So, you might see this shirt again, and you probably already saw it if you saw the intro, but this is the last, I wore this shirt the last time we had a live one conference at Paradise Point.
So where we ended up, you know, I'm 110, you know, kind of flat across now.
Prove it.
Oh shit, pull it here. There you go. Actually, it's a little up, but that's okay.
Okay, see that?
Still 110.
I caught him lying.
Still in range. So, and what's your update?
My update is I am 138 diagonal up, and I'm still going to just hold for a while.
Yeah.
But if it gets to 150, and that's where I have my upper alert during the day, I'm going to go, yes, I can do something before it gets to 180, stay in range, and I have options of sub-Q, inhaled. Yeah, I think that, I wanted to also say, though, that, you know, you did an amazing job, and it goes to show that if you use portion control and eat 1/3 the size of a regular acai bowl, you can also stay in range.
Well, you know, I've been giving him such a hard time that he didn't do any surveillance, any recon. He just bought this acai bowl he'd never seen before. It wasn't my fault it was delicious. I ended up being hungry. But anyways, we do these for a couple reasons. One, to show that, yes, technically with diabetes, you can eat a lot of these things that maybe we consider taboo. Again, not all the time. You know, acai bowl, that was just a big meal. It's just not a healthy meal for people to eat. But you did it in terms of keeping your blood sugars in range.
Yeah. And you know what? I don't eat Chinese food too often because I have a hard time controlling myself. And I ate a ton.
Yeah.
And I still feel like I got, a baby in there.
And I think it really comes down to two big tricks that both of us use. One, the pre-bolus. Make sure you bolus, before you sit down to eat to get that insulin, working. And then the second one is a little bit more nuanced, is vigilance, kind of following up. And if you notice that your blood sugars start, trending in one direction or another, do something about it. And that's where you gave your little touch. I gave the Afrezza, like whatever. And again, it wasn't like a whole showstopper, like we had to, spend hours and hours like pouring over our blood sugars. We were able to do it with fairly minimal interventions. That being said, this is far and away the best we've ever done.
Yep.
Every other time we've gone out of range pretty much, or had to do stairs and kind of things like that. So we're not trying to show off. I think we're just trying to pat ourselves on the back, because that's also super important to have some positive feedback when you actually do something well. To take a moment and be like, you know what, I just took down a whole plate of Chinese food and my blood sugar stayed in range. That's difficult to do. So give yourself a little reward, move on. The next meal, Steve and I might have a high or a low. I mean, it's just, you kind of got to always keep up, the fight and keep trying.
I'm going for Chinese food tonight.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he's going to text me in an hour and say his blood sugar is 300 and I'll still claim victory. But officially this one was a tie. Still reigning champ though, just because of the sheer number of wins I've had from other events. But this one was technically a tie. So we've really appreciated you guys watching. I love the new shirt. Steve, anything else you want to say to folks?
No, just thanks for coming to TCOYD today and sharing your life with type 1 diabetes as well.
I will say, write in the comments if you have other ideas for, challenges. We already have some ideas, but particularly if you have an idea that maybe Steve could win one. But with that, I will just, sign off, say thanks for doing this. You did an awesome job, and we'll see you guys next time.